Hi, folks. This is Andy of Andy's Personal Development, and we are currently live in the breakout room. Today, again, we have an amazing episode for you as we continue to share information and content that would bring you to a place of achieving health, happiness, and prosperity. So, without further ado, let us introduce our guest for today. Her name is Rozlyn Warren, and she is an intuitive wealth and abundance coach for soul led CEOs. Now, there's so much more about this individual, this coach that we can introduce to you at this time, but it is even more important that you hear it from her herself. So, let's introduce our guest for today, live in the breakout room, Rozlyn Warren. Welcome.
Welcome. Good to see you. Very
Good
excited
to
to be
have
here.
you. All right, wonderful. I appreciate that. Love that spirit. Love that energy. Glad to have you in the breakout room. So, Rosalind, tell our people, our audience, tell the world about who Rosalind Warren is and what your main message for people, first of all, in general, represents.
It's wonderful because in my journaling work this morning, we were like this like mission statement kind of poured through. It everything just grows and expands. I'm all about expansion,
Right, right.
and and so I'm all about sacred life mastery.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, what that means is I train and mentor people to
Mm-hmm.
have a rock solid, deep connection to their soul and to their guidance. And it's about
Okay.
authenticity, it's about um, being fully yourself. And so it's very, very exciting. And I love your tag about happiness and prosperity because I am all about that. My journey to this life began. I was had fallen into which it's common for humans. And I was thinking today, I was standing right above the space where I was sitting that particular day, and I went, wow, that was 19 years ago. So a lot has changed. But I had fallen into the trap of complaining and facing reality. And when I recognized it, because of course I wasn't happy. Who can be happy when you're only
Yes,
seeing the
yes.
negative side of things? And I've always
Right.
been a very positive person. So when I finally realized that I had fallen into that, it was very bemusing to me because I'm the one. I drive my husband crazy because there's any cloud, I can give you the silver lining immediately. Well, what if we looked at it that way? So
Yes.
to have fallen there was very interesting. And the main way I got myself out was I decided that I was going to lean toward happy.
Okay.
So my original website and everything was lean toward happy. And I realized that leaning toward happy is actually a piece of sacred life mastery. So it got rolled together. But it's
Mm-hmm.
the idea that something happens, now you're at choice. I'm like, we always have free will. And to me,
Yes.
this is the free will.
Okay.
I can choose to look that way, or I can choose to look that way. I can choose if I'm going to lean toward happy. And we're not saying something happens and you just go, oh, I'm happy, happy, happy. No, that's not what we're talking about. It's hard
Okay.
to jump from something to happy unless it's fake. And that's not what we're talking about here. But we're talking about having this deep, abiding energy within you that something happens. My catchphrase is, because it's an energy neutral phrase, well, that's interesting.
Mm. Yeah.
And it gives you an opportunity to take a breath and decide, am I going to whine about it or am I going to respond to it? And how do I wish to respond to it? What would I prefer? Instead
Okay.
of running through life going from banging in for bang to bang to bang to bang to bang, reacting to everything. Or, like most good little girls and boys have been trained, we just shove it down. And we
Mm.
shove it down and everything's fine. It's all fine. You just stomped all over me, but it's fine until
Wow.
the day we erupt like Vesuvius because you can't hold all of that feeling inside. You've got to deal with it. You've got to process it. You've got to feel it. So once we learn how to respond instead of react, we can take care of all of these things. And so now today, I'm happy 99.99% of the time. And when I'm not, I have a process that I use and I can pull myself back into what for me is equilibrium.
Okay. Great. Wonderful. That has been very, very deep, Rosalind, and thank you for sharing. You have a descriptive term that you use to describe the main genre, I suppose, of who your clients are or the folks that you work with, and
Hmm.
it is soul led CEOs.
Yes.
I want you to tell us exactly how that term came about and the inspiration behind it because it really sounds deep and descriptive.
Yes. So if you're in anyone in business, you know that one of the things is who is your client? Who is your client? Who is your client? Oh, hear it one more time. I'm going to go. And because I consider Sacred Life Mastery as a lifestyle business. We are not
Okay.
focused specifically in on anything. We are focused in on your life. So my topics are broad,
All right.
but they're their
Okay.
life, right? And so for me, I do work with, and it ends up being a lot of women. So I'm not exclusively women, but it tends to be
All
women.
right. Yeah.
And most of them end up being someone who is looking at or is running an online business. So there's that piece. For me, the catch term CEO means anyone who is self led. A CEO is the chief executive officer. And it's not a because we get in trouble if we start if you're in control of your life, because that's not what we're talking about. But are you the person who makes the decisions in your life? Or are you doing things because so and so told you this is how you had to be? Somebody told you you needed to do that. Somebody told, oh, you got to do it this way. And so you listen to all these people and you're like in this giant muddle. And you don't realize you're in a muddle. You're just running around trying to make everybody happy. We have a do not people please process around here because that's another way we get trapped. We can't be our authentic selves if we're trying bent into a pretzel trying to please everybody else. So a CEO is someone who has determined that no, I know what's best for my life. I'm connected to my source. I'm connected to God, if you will. I'm connected to spirit. I know what's best for my life. I can feel it in my gut when something's a yes, and I can feel it when it's a no. And I have boundaries that let everyone else know in a loving way. These are the boundaries. It's a yes, it's a yes. It's a no, it's a no. The end. All of this dithering around trying to make decisions is it it's a distraction from the greatness that you actually have within you to give to the world. It's a way in which we're coming to this procrastination piece, but it's a
Yes.
way in which the part of you that's still a scared little girl or a little boy says, we're going to hide. And it gets built into and programmed into your nervous system. And it needs to be taken care of at that level. I just heard someone say yesterday, and I went, yeah. We talk a lot about, I want to be safe. I want to be safe. I want to feel safe. Thinking about your nervous system and how you feel from a nervous system angle, your nervous system is hardwired for familiar.
Okay.
Think of the frog in the water as it slowly rises to boiling, and then the little
Yeah.
frog is gone. Now,
Yeah.
the frog would never jump into boiling water, but he will sit there and literally boil because it's familiar. And so, where are we in our lives doing things from habit? Doing things because it's, this term, it's the way we've always done it. I hate it. I don't want to do it, but it's the way we've always done it. That's not safe. But the unknown, anything out of your comfort zone, if you will, your known paradigm is scary to your nervous system, because your nervous system is hardwired to keep you alive.
Okay.
And we did have to worry about what? Tyrannosauruses and starvation when we were first created. And we've carried some of that forward with us, but we're done with that. 99%, anyone listening to me here, us today, you're not worried about tyrannosauruses, and probably you're not worried about where your next meal is coming from.
Wow.
Yet, why
Thank
do
you
we
so
live
much.
that way?
Yes. Yes.
Why do
Yes. Yeah.
we live that way?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I I am a bit taken back by the way in which you express and explain the philosophy, the belief, and the importance of that soul-led connection. My question here is, what kind of challenges do people actually face when you work with them and you speak specifically about individuals understanding the term CEO, what it means? And it's not just in terms of business, but it's also in terms of their personal life. And I
Mhm.
appreciate that aspect of it, being able to take charge of your life, making decisions that are in your best interests without wondering about the ecosystems around, but just being able to connect with that energy, that force, that spirit, God,
Mhm.
whoever it is or whatever it is that keeps your boat afloat, so to speak. I understand the depth of that. But the question here is, how do people get to that position when they are not there yet? When they come to you, what are some of the challenges that you have to work with them to overcome before they can actually begin to see themselves playing that specific role
Yeah.
as a soul led CEO?
Um, which I think is what all great coaches do.
Yeah.
Is we take people the same path we were on.
Okay.
We're mentors. I tell my people, I said, there are the exceptions. There are the Deepak Chopras of the world that are, they're out there, they're big,
Right.
and we can see their light because it's so big. The
Right.
rest of us, we're only a few steps ahead of the people we're working with, because we're holding the lantern in our hand, and they've got to be able to see it to follow us.
Mhm.
So I'm simply sharing with them what I did, how it worked for me. There's one technology I have, it's actually free on my website, and y'all can have it as we're talking about it. If you want it, you can have it. So I have these tools and these tricks and these processes. And I would say the number one starting point, besides leaning toward happy, because we've already covered that, is to understand and recognize and begin to listen to the thoughts that run through your mind. Because there are some very important things to know about that. Number one, 99.9% of the thoughts that parade through your mind in a never ending stream are not yours.
Wow.
Feel it.
Yeah.
They belong to someone else or something else.
Mm.
At some point in your life, a lot of them we carry. That's why I do a lot of inner child work. Healing that, not healing's not the right word, bringing your inner child who, when they were traumatized at whatever age or point it was, and it could simply be being humiliated by accident by a very tired parent.
Yeah.
It's not a trauma like, oh, well, I don't believe any of us came through childhood unscathed. Just saying. It's a
Yeah.
human
Yeah.
experience. But I think it's part of the ride.
Okay.
It's the part of the process. Because when we come here, oh my goodness, have you ever been somewhere where there's a tiny baby or like under 6 months, and you lock eyes with that child, and they are wise souls. They're still connected fully to all that is. They're trying to figure out where am I and why am I here? How did I land here? what are these crazy people, And then at some point we begin to separate, and then we have our human experience more than our spiritual experience. I liken it to going to Disneyland. You want to ride on the teacup ride till you throw up. That's what early life is. And then we get to a point where we go, oh, we're going down there? No, we're going to Epcot Center. we're going to a place where there are adults. There are just nice things we can do and see. But I can sit calmly every now and then, and I'm also not going to burn up from the heat, and I'm certainly not going to puke. So, no, that's our awakening to coming back into our spiritual life. So it's all part of the process. So we let go of blame. But what most of us do, until we understand this and we recognize this, and that's my whole dance process. Daring awareness nurtures creativity and expansion. It's a journaling process that my guides gave me for this very thing. It has a little process for getting something happens. Your mind automatically goes and makes up a story about it. Well, that person did, and they did it because, and now you're off to the races. Your entire day is off the rails. And if you don't recognize it and know how to, number one, stop it, and then pull yourself back into equilibrium, pull yourself back into response instead of reaction. Bless them and let it go. Feel the feelings. We're not talking about stuffing feelings, but we're talking about not allowing someone else to continually rain on your parade. So I liken these voices in my head to a parade. It's a monkey parade, and it just goes by constantly. Before you know what's happening, you're actually in the parade. Now, your job is usually picking up behind monkeys or elephants, if you get my drift at what your job is there, right?
Yeah.
So you're in the muck and the mud of it. When you learn this, that these thoughts in your head, they don't belong to you anyway. They are not you. whatever your brain is telling you, you're tired, you're dumb, you don't have your act together yet, you really married the wrong person, all those kinds of things, it's not true. It's not who you are. It's just flotsam rooting around, and we're pulling it into our brain and thinking it's us. So then you begin watching what you're thinking. And that dance process helps with that. But now you have stepped out of the parade and you're on the sidewalk observing this parade going by. And my promise to you is, it took probably a year and a half, maybe for me. I was brand new at it. Who knew? Now I can hear that parade tuning up about 2 streets over. And I go, nope, no permit here. No. So I can cut off one of the monkey parades before it even gets in my mind. And that's how, so once we get that rocking and rolling, now you're clear-minded. You're clear-headed. Now you've got a little more space to actually hear the quiet voice of your spirit.
Yeah. And that deserves a quiet moment as well. So, Rosalind, with regards to the challenge of procrastination, I must confess that there are times when I believe I have procrastinated about things that I should have been much more proactive and efficient about.
Mm-hmm.
But I always remind myself that don't be too hard on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If it is not a priority, don't beat up yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I remind myself as well, additionally, that it's a matter of having good habits, good practices, and making good choices.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition to that, what you can do today, why wait for tomorrow? If you
so
can get it done,
so
if
much to
you can,
say.
if you can get it done, Rosalind, she's laughing.
I'm laughing with you. No. Well,
I hear you. I hear you.
number one, the
Yes.
magic key
Yeah.
to stop and go and ask guidance
Uh
is
huh.
that word should.
Okay.
No, you never should do anything.
Hmm. I
You
hear
do it
you.
because you want to. You do it because you're
Hmm.
called to do it. You do it because you're pulled to do it. Now,
Right.
yes, we've got this whole procrastination thing going on, which is an actual trauma response.
Yeah.
So we want to take care of and deal with that piece of it so that you are not putting things off because of this trauma response, which we could talk about a little bit in a minute. But once you get past that, now this is why my thing is procrastination may not be what you think.
Yeah.
Now we've got the piece that if you are soul led and you are flowing with spirit, there's going to be a lot to do. We all
Mm-hmm.
have a lot to do. That's
Yeah.
life. We have a lot to do.
Yeah.
I had to get
Yeah.
dressed and show up here. Yay! And I wanted to,
Right.
because this is where I'm supposed to be in this moment.
Okay.
So procrastination, I have found, is also sometimes spiritual guidance.
Hmm. Okay.
I have my lists now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do giant to-do lists and things. I do. It's actually out of Abraham Hicks. They called it the placemat process.
Yeah.
But it's the idea of you list everything that you need to do, list it down. But that list is the universe's list. So your idea is not, I'm going to make this long list of all the stuff I've got to do. is I'm going to make this list of stuff that the universe has kind of brought to my mind that I might ought to do. And I'm giving it to the universe to begin pre-paving, to begin working everything out in the background, because everything always works out for me.
Okay.
So the universe is at work, bringing around the synchronicities, lining up the people, all of those kinds of things. And then every day, or, whenever I sit down for what am I going to do today? I can go over the list. And one of my favorites is a phone call that needed to be made. So I had to make a phone call it was a governmental office for something. And I'd hit it and I go, not today. Now, that can feel like and look like procrastination.
Yes. Mm.
But I'm having a conversation not with my head and not with my twisted up guts about I don't want to talk to these people. They drive me crazy. Not that. I'm in conversation with Source. Am I doing this today? Not today. Okay. Oh, I went on. Good. We're doing that. Oh, good. I have this call with Andy today. Oh, we're doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
So then all the rest of the stuff stays there. So one day I'm doing my list. It'd probably been about 5 days. And so every day I'm like, I really don't try not to use ought and should. Isn't it about time to get this off my plate? I'm about tired. And so finally one day it was like, yeah, go ahead and call them. I called. Someone picked up on the second ring. She was happy and joyful. She knew what I needed, took care of it. It was over and done. And in the conversation, I discovered she'd been on vacation for 2 weeks. If I had called when it first came out, we need to call them about this, and I had made the call, who knows if I even got through. I'd have got somebody that didn't even want to be answering the phone because it wasn't their job anyway. They were having to sit in, and they wouldn't have known what I needed. It would have been frustrating all the way around. But because I was willing to allow Source to give me the energy, if you will, to do it, it was 3 minutes, done. Now, then my mind wants to say, see, could have done that 4 days ago. If that's all it was, you could have done it 4 days ago. But fortunately, the universe lined this up so I would have a teaching story. And we had the conversation that she wasn't there 4 days ago. She was only there the day the universe had lined everything up, and she was happy to be back at work. She hadn't been there long enough to be upset again. So it all worked out perfectly. So we've got that going on. Now, the procrastination side from trauma, that's another neurological system issue. Because it's when we try to step out of our comfort zone, we want to have a big goal. We want to do something we've never done before. My guidance just gave me this information the other day. And then this morning it came back around. So I think it's because it's supposed to be said here. When you are living your life as a soul-led person, we don't know what we're doing 9/10 of the time. We are leading edge creators. We are creating things that have never existed before. We are standing on the edge of a crevice where to human mind we go, there's not another step to take. I will fall off of this hill. But our spirit and heart know that when we pick up our foot and we put it down, the ground comes under us. We are literally creating, co-creating the universe as we do our work. Our minds, they don't know what we're doing. There's no way for them to know what we're doing. It's never been done before. Our hearts know, our souls know. And then the big thing of trust, that's the big thing we're building here is trust. We trust that I've been given this mission. I've said yes. The universe is going to see it through. How? I don't know. I don't care. I know it's going to be awesome. My mind goes, are you crazy? Nervous system. There might be a Tyrannosaurus out there. But what we've found is from working with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients is it comes back to something that happened to us at some point in our life where we were brave and we did take this on and we said yes and we poured our hearts into this goal we had. We'll call it a goal. We had this goal and we worked toward it. And it didn't matter if people said, oh, it'll never work. We went, watch me. You know, oh, maybe you should try it this way. Nope, I'm doing it this way. We worked and we worked and we worked and we worked and worked and we threw our whole hearts into it. And then it didn't work. It fell flat. It failed. And it broke our hearts. That's the goal trauma. That now set up in your nervous system. Every time you say, oh, this, I really feel this, I'm going to do this big thing. Your nervous system was the very first thing is, yeah, how are you going to do that? Starts shutting. Oh, that's right. Oh, I don't know. And now you've got all these thoughts and all this stuff. We label it procrastination. You just can't get started. You can't get any motivation. You come up with 100 things to do. My goodness, the refrigerator must be cleaned out in this moment. Or I've got to go check something on Facebook. And 3 hours later, you're still over there wandering around. And then I call these they're mysterious behaviors. Because at the end of the day, you go, why did I do that? I wanted to, we'll just make something up. I wanted to write a chapter in my book. Why did I clean out the refrigerator? Why did I wander off into Facebook land or whatever else we do? So it feels mysterious, but all it is our internal nervous system trying to protect us. There's technologies that we can use that can go in and heal that, just dissolve the trauma itself, calm the nervous system down so that now you're able to actually set big goals. What most of us end up doing is we give up on the big goals that we really, really want. And logically we say, well, I don't know how to do it. But here's the thing. If you've got something that you want to accomplish and you know every step of the way, it's no longer a goal. It's a task list. You're just doing the same thing you've been doing. Okay, cool. It's putting bread on the table. Yay. But the thing is, it's not what you really, really want. So we might have a big goal, and let's just use money because it's fun to use. Let's just say you have a big goal of making $50,000 this month. And you're like, yeah, right. Ha, no way. Okay, fine. But I've been doing 5, so I could do 6. Okay, I'm going to do 6K this month. Yay. Yeah, whatever. It's not what you want. It's not exciting. It's not hop out of bed and let's do it. But when you can allow yourself to have that 50K, are you going to reach it this month? You could. Anything's possible. So you don't. Are you further along than 5? Sure. But more than that, you're excited. You're thrilled. You're not procrastinating. You are banging it out. You're doing the do. Oh, look, I met this person and this thing opened up and that. And I'm so excited. Life is good. Somebody says, how's it going? And you go, you won't believe it. It's wonderful. because you have your sights set on something bigger than you. But you can't even want it when you're clamped down with this interior safety mechanism. That's what I'm passionate about, is let's clean this up so that we can all go for what we really, really, really want, because that's what lights the
Hmm.
fire.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Rosalind. I'm listening very carefully to what you're saying and developing a sense of a holistic approach to being as an individual, as someone who desires to accomplish things that are specific and what we consider to be vital, not only to our existence, but to that of our family, our businesses, and so on. And you speak about that soul led connection, you speak about that spiritual connection. That's extremely important to me.
Mhm,
And I know it is important to a whole lot of people because you cannot deny the fact that we are body, soul, and spirit.
mhm.
How does a robust spiritual life lead to that kind of prosperous thinking that eventually manifests itself into our lives and becomes not just a thought process, but a
Mm,
tangible reality?
yeah. Well, it starts with the basics, which is opening up space to make that connection in a deeper way. Most of
Okay.
us living, we've all had, most of us, some, especially when you're my age, you have had uh, some connection with or run into or heard of uh, religion, and some, the thought, thinking of God and all that, and then it goes muddled from there, because
Yeah.
now we've got, I remember, and if your audience isn't familiar with Abraham Hicks, they've been talking about prosperity for years and years and years and years. And someone asked them once, may we share what you're sharing with us with other people? And they said, oh, of course. Just don't tell them that they must believe it, or then you've turned it into a religion, and we wouldn't like that. So that's one thing, like even with my work, I am sitting here very, what, effervescently sharing what has happened for me, how it has impacted my life, how I work it. But I am not sitting here at all telling you, you have to do it this way. It's everyone's walk, everyone's journey is individual. And if there's one thing I said that you would, oh, that lady's crazy, drop it and let it go. It's not for you. Just let it go. And
Yeah.
learning the way your body fits in to all of this, because your body is a consciousness facilitator, meaning your body can tell you what's true for you and what's not. And you can feel when things are true, and you can feel when things are not true for you in this moment. This And then there are spiritual practices. I have spiritual practices. I have some energy work that I do every day that clears the energy of all the people and all the monkey parades wanting to come by, and all that stuff. Journaling for me is a massive, massive way that I stay connected. Um, I love a process. I actually call it waltzing. So once you
Okay.
finish learning how to dance, you can waltz, right?
Ah,
And it's you, I sit, and we've been doing it now for so long. Uh, the the spiritual guidance that I have, the name I use is Sophia. And so I just put my R, now we're down to R and S, R dot dot. And I'm like, Can we connect every morning? Can we connect? Yes, of course. And now we're there. And I've been doing it a long time. So it's
Okay.
very easy to make the connection. And then just it's stream of consciousness. This happened, blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay. There'd be, oh, do I make that phone call to that stinking company today? Yes, not yet. Okay. What's what's the number one thing? And I don't use do. We're too do oriented anyway. So who do I need to be today to
Ah,
really reach these people? Who do
yeah.
I need um, to be my most authentic self today? I just
Mm.
saw it was credited to Lewis Carroll, so it must have been Alice in Wonderland. And the quote was, "There's no sense in talking about yesterday because I'm a completely different person than I was then."
Yes.
And we
Yes.
can tying that into this idea that we are leading edge creators, that we are always innovating, always expanding, always moving forward. One of the things I feel like we're moving out of is we have been living in for probably ever the fix it realm. We're
Hmm.
healers. We fix something.
Mm.
You got to,
Yeah.
what's the problem? What's the promise? What's the fix? And once we fix that, now you got a new problem, and we're going to get you a promise for that. And we're going to fix that. And we're moving out of that into the realm of, because there's no safety in that. It's like, oh my God, am I ever going to get fixed? Well, no. Because in all reality, there's nothing to fix. Are we going to expand? Yeah. Are we going to be more in 5 minutes? By the time this ends, we're going to be different people than we were when it started.
Yep.
And it's been so much fun. This is how you want to live your life. Every rendezvous, even if it's something that normally you would go, there's something in it for your expansion. There's something in it for your growth. Or, and this was a life changer, every now and then. Now, one of my pillars of life is the universe and everything in it is conspiring in my favor. Everything always works out for me. That's just a belief. I had to instill it and install it and
Maintain it.
repeat it enough, but it's there now. It's solid. So every now and then something will go wrong. Just wackadoodle. And so first, of course, because we're human, I go, whoa, okay, what am I doing? Am I out of alignment? Have I fallen off into Neverland? What's going on? And when all of that, I realize, no, I'm clear. Then I'm like, I have been asked to be a cooperative part in that person's expansion today. Meaning, I'm one of the people that they're having this moment, existential crisis, even, if you will. And I'm one of the people that the universe has sent to help them, to stand with them. They're a diamond in the rough, and they got to get bumped up against me today. Whatever. But the minute I remember, it's not me. I haven't done anything wrong. The universe didn't get up in the morning and forget about me today. Something else bigger's playing out here. It instantly calms me down, and I go, cool. I am more than willing to be a cooperative part in whatever is going on. I don't need to know what it is. I don't waste any energy or time trying to figure it out. But something's going on. I will stay centered. I'll stay at peace. I'll be calm. I will respond appropriately, not letting my boundaries get run all over. But I'm willing to be a cooperative part in whatever's going on. So when you can get there, you're able to just float through life. Flow is, the word we use, but you're really able, you're going to have your human minute. I actually was discovered that I had a kidney cancer in 2020.
Wow.
And I stood up. I was, no, I am not doing this. What? Just, And I think it probably literally was maybe 4 minutes. And so I felt the feelings. I don't want to do this. This is dumb. I'm not, no, no, no. And then I went, well, guess I am. What do we do?
Yeah.
And then it was literally for someone who had their kidney removed, it was smooth sailing. Just the whole everything was smooth sailing from there on out. Needed to be done, okay. And the other side is when you can hold things loosely in that way, it did not define me. It's this blip. It happened. Yeah, now we get to go down to the really pretty hospital that's like an art museum every so many months and have blood drawn, So it's just another, something we do. But things quit being taken personally and meaning. What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. Just, I don't know, maybe I was being a cooperative part for somebody else. I have no idea. But you're going to have your human minute, and don't fuss at yourself for that. Just laugh.
Yeah.
Abraham Hicks, my favorite phrase is, you do something and you realize, ooh, and then you go, oh, there I am doing that thing I do. There I am being human again. Golly, geez, still human.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so we have to come to the end of this wonderful episode with Rozlyn Warren as our guest. And we would like, just for 1 minute or so, Rozlyn, for you to say something that you believe the world needs to hear. It may be soul led, it may not be soul led, depending on what lens they see it or hear it or feel it. But in a minute or so, summarize what you would say to the entire world as your parting message.
It's my soul belief. No matter where you are or what's happening, you are perfect, whole, and complete. All the rest of this is going to work out.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So, folks, there you have it. Rozlyn Warren sharing her inspiration, her life, her experience, and giving us the opportunity to choose for ourselves the direction in which we feel we can go as we deal with all manners of procrastination and the different challenges that come across our lives on a daily basis. Remember, she's an intuitive wealth and abundance coach for soul led CEOs, and CEOs not necessarily meaning of businesses,
Right.
but of your personal life. So, Rosalind, at this moment, I want to help you a little bit by putting up some stuff there. But you tell the audience what is the most efficient and effective way that they can make contact with you for your services and your expertise.
Sacredlifemastery.art.
Uh-huh.
I have a contact there, so that gets directly into my inbox.
Right.
And also there, you can pick up an assessment. It's called the Freedom Formula Assessment. And it gives you a bunch of little questions to see if goal trauma is even playing out in your life. Who knows? You may not have it. But if you do, you'll recognize it in that assessment. And then it also tells you what you can do about it. So that's cool. And down at the bottom of the homepage is the dance journal. And that's free. Just sign up for it and you'll be delivered right to you. So if that intrigued you about how to stop that monkey mind in your head and become a witness and then not allow it to have permits anymore, that's what you need, is the dance journal.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that, Rozlyn. We really appreciate you and having you in our audience and in our studio as we come to the end of this wonderful program of the Breakout Room. So, Until next time, folks, this is Andy of Andy's Personal Development, your partner in health, happiness, and prosperity, and Rozlyn Warren, your partner in leaving the procrastination to the procrastination and taking up the responsibility of making the decisions for yourself in this life.
Yes.
Godspeed, God bless, Shalom, Namaste. Bye for now. Until next time, folks. See you soon. Bye for now.